Ibashe Oludumare, Ibashe Owumila, Ibashe Awo Akoda, Ibashe Asheda, Ibashe Ejubona Mefa, Ibashe Agbongbong, Oba Ile Ife, Ibashe Adabalotu Ife, Ibashe Olokun, Ibashe Olasa, Ibashe Aje Ogun Uloso Olamba Aye, Ibashe Ita Merindinogun, Ibashe Orunoko, Ibashe Okunoko, Ibashe Okiti Awoko, Ibashe Oguni Male Deju, Ibashe Babas, Ibashe Yeyes, Ibashe Ori, Ibashe Tototo, Oludumare Emojuba. Kiba me eshi orunjuba. Ashe.
But the true essence of magical or occult phenomenon is the creation of an ego, the creation of an identity, but an identity that will hold and maintain through lifetimes. The all in all is a spiritual and unseen subcontext that lies beneath all of reality. That is the all. And that within itself is mental. The greatest thing you can do in this moment is to be aware that these events are happening and to start digging into your creative mind as to where you can begin to assist. So these are not theories and thoughts and ideas that have been developed within me overnight, nor are they theories, thoughts, and ideas that have been developed inside of a vacuum, but they've been tried and proven. The real currently is the desert of the mind, because your mind can only perceive what is real, but you have yet to actually fully. So if the universe is mental, then can the universe learn something? Certainly. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, one and all, to another Foundational Friday on the Enlightenment and Transformation Network. Each and every time that I have appeared here, I have appeared as the conductor and the avatar known as Yuya Assaan-ANU, affectionately known as Baba Haru, affectionately known as Chief Yuya, affectionately known as Chief, sometimes even known as son or nephew or grandson. So this is our last Foundational Friday for the Gregorian year of 2014. And with that being the case, there are some things that we're going to share in this segment to prepare us for the new Roman year of 2015, or the new financial year for some of us, depending on how we have arranged our accounting matters. For some of us, we're coming into a new quarter, or just beginning a new reporting season for 2015. And with that, it becomes significant that we are aware of what's going on and what needs to go on, what is going on for this coming season. So as I did last year, I am also doing this year, which is our reading, spiritual prediction, and advisal for the year of 2015. I want to thank all of you who have joined in and tuned in and become a part of our listening family and our broadcast family in this past year. You know, most of the people who come into this experience don't come into it very casually, so it's always a very special thing. Usually there's something critical going on in their world, or they're just really on a mission to search, and they're trying to find some things out about themselves and find some things out about their life. And they'll say, I stumbled across your work, or I was searching and I found you. So I want to thank all of you who went through that process and not only came in, but brought others in with you, right? Because each one reach one. So in this season now, we're coming into a very interesting time for us in this coming year, and I'm going to get into that very soon. But like I said, I just wanted to give honor to all of those who have been a part of not only the broadcast, but who have come out to the workshops for this year, who have come out to any type of events we've done, and and who have also joined the class. So I want to thank you for being a part of the community, and for finding value in what it is that we are all here doing together, because truly it is a collaborative work. As I always tell you, everything that you're seeing me do or hearing me do, it's not a one-man show. I may make it look like that sometimes, and that's usually to protect the innocent. I don't like to put too many people out there unless they need or want to be put out there, to be exposed to the light. But just trust and know that there is a whole cadre and moving organism that works behind the scenes to ensure that the ANU work and my work is able to be presented to you all in a fashion that is orderly, functional, and effective. Okay, so again, this is a collective work and responsibility is what we practice here at the home of ANU. So, this workshop coming up, 14 African Principles, which is tomorrow, actually, in Philadelphia, the 27th, at Black and Nobel, will be, it looks like I'll be closing out the year with this one on the 27th. And we're going to get into the reading as well as some other things in relationship to that workshop and some other important topics right after we take our first break. I'll be right back, everyone.
And now for ANU Nation announcements. The Self-Actualization Tour is coming to a close. So join us for Chief Yuya's last workshop of the year on Saturday, December 27th at the infamous Black and Nobel bookstore in Philadelphia for Chief's workshop entitled The Power of the 14 African Principles. In this workshop, Chief Yuya will walk you through easy-to-apply, hands-on methods to apply the internal and external principles that he's coined the 14 African Principles. This program deals with the deep, indigenous thought and its application in a contemporary environment. This will be an exciting and powerful workshop that you don't want to miss. It's less than a week away, so be sure to RSVP in advance to let us know you are coming. You can get more details and RSVP by visiting our event listing at www.anunation.org/events. Also, join us on January 18th, 2015 for a power-packed ANU Nation workshop hosted by Sister Felicia Terrell-ANU entitled Rituals for Successful Business, which will be held at Nicholas Brooklyn Bookstore in Brooklyn, New York. This program deals with the practical application of blending business and spirituality to help you usher in prosperity and success for you and your business. Felicia will teach you about the basics of feng shui, the use of color, divining on business decisions, employing wealth archetype and statues to use in business environments, how to cleanse a new business space, and daily rituals to usher in new business. All those who attend ANU Nation workshops will receive 25% off on classes and additional discounts on our products and services. To learn more as well as to RSVP, please visit us at www.anunation.org/events. Since we had such a wonderful response to our Black Friday half off of Life Path reading sale, we are offering it again. This time we are honoring Kwanzaa and the coming new year. So beginning on December 26th through January 1st, Sister Felicia will be offering her Life Path readings for 50% off. So mark your calendars as those are the dates when the sale will be available, and you you will be able to schedule your appointment online at www.orishareligion.com. And now, back to our segment.
All right, so here we are again. We're back. And for those of you who have timed, you're tuning in so that you would just come into where the message begins, so that you would be able to skip the announcements. I will let you know that you are listening to Foundational Fridays on Enlightenment and Transformation. And speaking is Yuya Assaan-ANU. And in this segment, what we're going to be covering is the spiritual forecast, the spiritual gifts that have been presented to us for this coming year of 2015. And, you know, the reason I call them the spiritual gifts is one, because there are things that I do prior to casting to invoke certain energies and invoke certain vibrations and certain awarenesses within myself and outside of myself. And then once the information comes through, there are certain things that I do at that point to thank those energies for presenting clear, nutritious, and beneficial information. So even for those of you who are listening in, you have to understand that there is work that goes behind. Anytime you hear someone give you a reading or give you, well, let me be clear. Sometimes people will give you unsolicited readings. There's still work behind it, but the intention may be a little bit different. But one of the reasons why I don't do readings on the air, people a lot of times ask me for that. I've done it before. But now in this like high-paced and really fast-paced, highly consumed/consumable society and culture, people have become very accustomed to receiving very sacred things in an instance, or just being able to pay for things that should be regarded and considered as very sacred. And sometimes when they get them in the wrong way, they don't regard the information or regard the gift as they should. So when I give a reading, or even if I intuit something and share that information with another individual, there's a lot of energy around me and through me that offers that information up. It's not really as casual as you may think it is. And I may make it seem casual because I've just been doing it for so long, but it's a very precious and sacred thing. And a lot of times people call in and they want a reading on this and a reading on that. And I will tell you honestly, oftentimes what they want readings on is not very important. They're not important subjects, because these are things that they're not going to use to benefit anyone. They're barely using to benefit themselves because of the fact that they got it for nothing real quick on a blog talk show, or as I'm guesting on someone else's show, or a call-in television show, and whatever different mediums that I've been on in the past and that I'm on currently. So because of that mindset, I prefer not to usually do readings over the air. The sad part is that when it comes to our spirituality, we've come into a place where we just consume it and consume good gems, good information to the point that they become useless and fruitless. We have all kind of wisdom sitting around us that we hear, but we don't listen to. It's like being surrounded by a table of 12 elders. And when they're sharing gems with you and valuable doctrine and pedagogy, you just hear it as chatter. Or you make the assumption that you already know what they're talking about. Meanwhile, they may be 80, 90 years old and you're 25. How could you ever know what they're talking about? The only thing you could do is listen, receive, and respond accordingly. So it's one of the reasons why I call it them spiritual gifts, because the readings that come is not, sometimes people think they'll see me, maybe I might be doing a shell reading, or I might be working with runes, or I might be working with Ifa and the Ikin, or my Opwele chain, and people will point down as I'm doing the reading and say, okay, well, what does it say now? What does it say? It. As if I'm just throwing something on the mat, and then that thing on the mat is saying something to the room. Or if I could just look in a book and memorize, oh, okay, well, this number came up, so that number means this. Sometimes people, they just don't really comprehend the process, or at least some of the process. And a large part of the process is not it saying anything at all. The biggest part of the process is the relationship that the diviner has with the energies that speak through those implements. So because of that relationship, what you may not realize is that for the greater part of the divination, the implements are not even necessary, because those forces that are speaking through the implements already have a relationship with the diviner, and they're already speaking to the diviner. But by separating the diviner, as just like one would sometimes people separate themselves from those who serve them in a very sad way. I've seen times I've gone out to dine, and I do enjoy studying things around me, forces, people, mechanisms, especially when I'm dining out. I like to look at how the places ran. How are people moving? How many people are coming in? I'll clock how many people have come in. Okay, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes. 4 people came in, 6 people came in. I'll start clocking the workers there. Each worker, they're probably getting paid this, and they should be able to produce this much with their human power. This many people came in. We're on this type of street, so that means they probably just made this much money in this amount of time. I just started really dissecting the whole places. I've always done this since I was young. But the thing is, I've been in places before, and I've seen people order their food and never once look up at the person serving them. It's almost like if they force themselves not to look at them. They just want to have a relationship with the food, but don't want to have a relationship with the people who have a relationship with the food. I've seen that even in the educational field, in different schools that I worked out of or did work for. And I would talk to, I used to do a lot of professional development. And I would speak to different teachers and administrators and all forms of school faculty. And sometimes you get those people who, and they would tell me, like, I don't really like dealing with the parents. The parents are a headache. I just want to deal with the children. I like dealing with the babies, the children, but the parents are a headache. And I would say, like, well, how do you expect to really form a genuine relationship with a child when you have a disdain for where the child came from? You don't want to deal with the parents that actually, or they wouldn't want to deal with other teachers either. These other teachers give me a headache. I just want to deal with children. So you don't want a relationship with those who have a relationship with the children. It's insane, But I mean, most of the public school systems are insane. So that's why I used to go in there and try to inject some semblances of sanity. And I still do periodically, but I don't have the vigor for it as I once have, because of some of the same things I've mentioned. Now, because of a lot of buzzwords have been passed through the educational fields, people assume they know. Like, as soon as you say rites of passage, they say, oh, I know what that is. Yeah, we have that. We got somebody come and does that. They don't really know what it is, but the buzzwords get absorbed, and it takes away from the power and strength of what's being said. That's yang energy. When you go out and you're constantly looking for what's not there. Yin energy is when you're responding to the reality of what has been produced and presented to you. You're slowing things down a bit. Why do I speak on this? Am I just speaking about spiritual gifts and the respect and the value that we should hold for our spiritual gifts? I'm speaking about that, but I'm also telling you what the reading for 2015 is sharing with us. The Ifa Odu has shared with us the sacred Odu of Oturopondi. And Oturopondi is a very maternal Odu. Very, very maternal Odu. In fact, it is the Odu Oturopon that has implications towards the mothers or the great mother. D, or ED, as I've expressed and shared before, speaks to the womb. Okay, speaks to the earth. In fact, it is the governing energy of the south quadrant on our casting surface. South quadrant representing earth. So it's dealing with not only your groundedness, but it's dealing with your relationships with people. Now, why would the mother deal with the things that I'm speaking about? Well, because when you understand the natural orders of things and you understand the natural order of yin and yang, understanding that the maternal energy is yin, the paternal energy is yang. So it is yin or feminine energy that chooses to be receptive and steadfast, as it is the masculine energy that chooses to be expansive and maybe even sporadic. This is one of the reasons why your father doesn't always have to be in the house. He can be out. I know we've adopted these 6 systems where, you know, you come home from school or whatever, you want to see mommy and daddy sitting there waiting for you, you know, or, you know, if daddy's in the house every night or always around, he's a good daddy. No, he's becoming like mommy. We only really need her to be steadfast because that's her nature. Now, if he chooses to be there and to be reactive, that's on him. So it is that energy of receptivity that typifies what we're coming into for 2015. But not just receptivity, it is the energy of humility. And it's the humility that reminds us that we must commune with Oduduwa. Oduduwa will be very present and very active in this coming year. Okay, and for those of you who have not listened to the show I did on Oduduwa, I would advise you to go back and check it out in the archives, or you can go to enlightenmentandtransformation.com, put in the search bar ODU DUWA. ODU DUWA. That's Oduduwa. And if you put that in the search window in enlightenmentandtransformation.com, you'll find the Oduduwa show. Okay. But you'll understand that she's the great maternal aspect, even as we speak about, and a lot of people say that Oduduwa was a king, a Yoruba king, so they would call Oduduwa he. But if you listen to that show, you'll understand why I am saying she. So even in the great triad of Obatala, Orunmila, and Oduduwa, you'll find that Oduduwa is the only feminine energy present. What we're going to learn and what we're going to really have to master is our repositioning, reframing, and realigning with our current and original spiritual goals, more so our original spiritual goals, because that's what will get hemmed up this year with not being able to go into a more yin place. It is our yang executions that will trip us up. Now we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to break this down further and explain what we need to do in 2015 and what is being told to us. I'll be right back.
ANU products announcements. Be sure to check out our online store at saduluhouse.com/store. That's SADULUHOUSE.com/store. There you will find some amazing products and services that encourage your spiritual growth and development, including our online classes. Chief Yuya teaches classes on spiritual growth, personal development, and indigenous ancient spirituality. They're absolutely amazing, and they are offered online so you can access them from any location across the globe. The classes are also designed so that you can go at your own pace. So, you can register at any time and enjoy the ongoing support of our online learning community. ANU's Spiritual Training Phase 1 is currently available and is about ministry to self. So in addition to learning the foundations of indigenous spirituality, this class will provide you with tools and guidance on how you can empower and heal yourself. To learn more and for a complete list of topics, please visit us at www.saduluhouse.com/store. The ANU store also carries all of our new publishing titles, including Chief Yuya's latest work entitled Shrine and Altar. This work offers some powerful gems in establishing and building your sacred space. So be sure to get your copy today to either enhance or begin developing your spiritual focal point. Chief Yuya also has forthcoming titles including The 14 African Principles. So be sure to visit our store frequently to see when this powerful work will be released. And don't forget to check out our new order book collection, where we offer our entire book collection at a special discounted rate. In case you missed the Self-Actualization Tour, Chief Yuya has released his lecture DVDs from the tour. So definitely check them out for a powerful learning experience. You can buy the DVDs separately or in collection, which includes the Shrine and Altar DVD, that is the companion to the Shrine and Altar book, which offers you a visual guide and information for establishing your spiritual gateway. And of course, we always provide you with tools to empower yourself. So learn to do your own divination with our ANU OB divination set. You can buy the OB separately or in a kit with its companion. Grasping the Root of Divine Power, where Chief Yuya will provide you with instructions on how to do your own divination using this ancient oracle. Chief Yuya is also now offering his monthly spiritual services to the public. This is an excellent service that includes a monthly reading and spiritual work that is done on your behalf. This is perfect for someone in need of spiritual guidance, healing, or insight and support in any situation, including personal, family, or business. These services aim to bring you on the path to success and offer powerful guidance and spiritual work to overcome any challenges. To learn more, you can visit us at www.saduluhouse.com/store. Spiritual consecrations can also be ordered and scheduled at our online store. This service is excellent for someone considering undergoing an initiation or for someone who wants to undergo a spiritual and healing cleanse where they are washed to their crowning orisha and to increase their personal power. Consecrations are facilitated by Chief Yuya and are sold separately or in a kit with our new spiritual training course for a special discounted rate. For more information, please visit us at www.saduluhouse.com/store.
Okay, so we're back again, and we're dealing with the Ifa, not just the Ifa reading, but because when I do readings, especially large readings, I use various implements. So I don't want you to think, and not that it's a problem if I only use the Ifa, but there are several oracles at play. In fact, when I do readings, I usually use about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I use between 6 and 7 oracles at one time. Okay, so I'll be dealing with Voodoo oracles. I'm dealing with the Ifa. I'm dealing with the Orisha oracles. I'm dealing with my native. I usually do work with my medicine wheel. I have that set up at the same time. And also I have another more ancient Chinese system that I work with. So, and there's a couple more in there. I got my little, I guess they say like a magician never reveals his secrets. So I guess I have my secret stuff in there as well. But so yeah, with that, so there were several oracles I would pull from, and then what I do is I not narrow, but I look at what the common strain is, and it's usually pretty prevalent. So the common strain was motherhood, and certain images again I'll work with, and like one of the images that came up was the images of the mare, Mare, and if you know anything about the mare is a female horse, and mares usually don't run as fast as the male horses, but they're more they're good for distance. They're more steady. Those they're very strong. So that represents again the receptivity and the ability to adapt and to understand the reality that sometimes males may not have. See, certainly the male or the masculine or the positive charge takes the lead, but it is also the feminine charge that holds most of the power, or all of the power, really. One of the reasons that is because she's been able to really interpret reality. She's more in tune with reality because she has to respond to it. She can't respond to a dream. You see, the masculine energy will respond to the dream. He'll have the vision, he'll have the idea, he'll have the thought, and he'll say, yeah, let's go out and make this happen. Whereas, and the first thing usually a feminine one will do will remind him of the reality. We don't have any money. We haven't been on a vacation in 7 years. Your job is looking funny. Looks like they're getting ready to fire you. I think I'm pregnant. She's going to always remind you of the reality because she's more in touch with what is. Okay. So this is a season now where we learn to pick the low-hanging fruit. So the grand advice in that is that do not climb high in this season. Do not climb high. You will be shot and shaken out of the tree. Okay, so you want to pick the fruit. If you're 6 feet tall and all of the fruit that you've been picking off the tree has been no higher than 6.5 to 7 feet, that's the fruit that you keep picking this year. This year, do not take on any large projects, no big projects. You want to get in touch with the reality of what is in this season. You want to get in touch with the reality of what is. I can't stress that enough. Very importantly, this is a season now where you anchor back to your spirituality. Okay, this is destined to be a very spiritual year for us. This is not a year of gigantic pursuits into the world. This is not a year where we go leave giant marks in society. In fact, this is a year where we strive to almost become invisible to society. This is the year where 2015, where we continue to do the things that we've been doing all along, but tightening and refining our current routines. Okay. And we will find joy in tightening up what we already have. Do not reach forward to large ambitions, but do things in a very small way in this time. Take things at a very small increment at this time. Be like the mare. The mare is a horse. One of the reasons the symbol is because the horse runs on the earth, right? So because it's running on the earth, it's grounded. Okay. But it responds to the male horse. It always follows the male horse. Okay, so being in that, what it does is it learns its situations and learns how to adapt to those situations. Okay, it learns the situations and learns how to adapt. That's why the epitome, often, if we could really look at it, of feminine energy is the Yemoja energy. And if you know anything about Yemojas, they don't like change. They don't like when you start switching things up. Just like a mother doesn't like when things are switched up, because why? She has a routine, and her power comes from her routine. Her power comes from being able to do the same thing and do it consistently, and do it in a way where it's pragmatic and practical and realistic. That's where her power comes from her grasp on reality. So I know when we look beyond reality and we look at, well, what could be, and of course, oftentimes we're excited by the thought of what could be, and we should be. We should imagine things. We should even dream. Nothing's wrong with any of that. But there's an ebb and flow of the seasons that we go through, and there's a season to do that, and there's a season not to do that. This is a season where we don't do that. Okay, so I will stress that again. This is the season for you where you pull back. Okay, you pull back and you learn to really master your ability to be receptive. And I don't want you to look at receptivity as surrendering to your situation. It's not surrendering at all. It's learning the situation. Sometimes when you allow things to happen on their own, as opposed to fighting them, you get to actually see and understand and get the wisdom of what's really happening. It's almost similar to being violated by someone who you can enact a legal recourse on. It's in fact better to let them violate you sometimes than it is to fight them, because at least if you let them violate you, you get to learn exactly what their intention is or was. And then your power comes from being able to bring that back up again, cite that, and use that against them. So this is your season of the eye. This is your season of watching and seeing and responding, as opposed to being as proactive. Very important for us in the coming year. And the sacred Odu of Oturupon D tells us that it is the meandering and the wandering away from our spiritual core values and spiritual intentions, or our ori, that is causing most of the problems in our world right now. This is a time now where we go silent and we go into the temple. Going silent and going into the temple is being like a monk. If you go past a monk's temple, you don't know who's in there. Everyone's dressed the same. Everyone has the same haircut. Everybody eats the same food. Everybody chants together. So they're almost invisible in a sense. It would be the greatest place to hide, at least if it's a monastery or a temple that where the people in there from your same ethnic group, at least. It will be the greatest place for you to hide. But within that space is great power. Great power, because it is through their consistency and their collectivism that they're able to generate a level of consistency that they don't lose, because they're not using it to go engage in any great wars or projects or initiatives. They're actually storing it up. You see? So this is a time now for us to store up, and we store up through the constant flowing, giving and receiving of the tide, like the water. Now, very similar to this idea of really aligning ourselves with the thought patterns and formations of water, the symbol for Oturupon is a woman who is pregnant. So the symbol is actually a child inside of the womb of its mother. And the symbol for ED, because remember our Odu is Oturupon D. The symbol for D, or ED, is a woman's buttocks, representing the foundation. But in many senses, it also represents the throne, or Set, the mother. But it also represents childbirth. So in this season, when we see the combination of Oturupon D, and as I was speaking about the water, Otuopon reminds us that the earth has the ability to hold water. So we think about the symbolism of earth holding water, and that speaks about pulling back and not doing things at a certain time in this season. You know, it is our Ifa elders that remind us that when the earth holds the water for too long, then the woman will have a premature or a stillbirth. So in a very literal sense, this means that if you're planning to have a child, that you should not plan to give birth to that child this year. You should not even plan pregnancy this year, but you can plan for pregnancy this year. If you've already begun, that's fine. Don't worry. But if you have a choice, we're speaking about not taking on any new or big initiatives in this year, but only doing the preparation. When you think about, again, the Oduls of Oturupon D and that energy and power of receptivity and the adjustment to the realism, this is what a woman goes through when she is carrying child. She has, most cases, she has no choice but to adjust to her new reality and find the strength and power in it. She is not reaching beyond what she is, though she may have had the ability to do something in one time, but now things have changed. In fact, there is a chant that we say for Oturopon D, and it is that those who have the ability to plait fabric or like string now do not have the ability to plait sand. And what it's saying is that you may have had an ability and a movement to mechanize in a certain direction and angle in one time, but now your situation has come to a point where you can't do what you normally did. You're going to have to hold still, and you're going to have to be okay with holding still. Okay, like that child that is in the mother's belly. But there's a strength and the power that comes. I mean, any organism that can hold another person inside of them and still function, speak, jog, run around, is obviously a very strong organism. Okay, so we pull from that strength of pregnancy. We pull from that strength of our foundations in this season. Now, what's key for this year coming up is not only mastering the adaptation to our reality, but it is going to our Egun, our ancestors, for guidance in this year. This is going to be a big year for ancestors. Okay, so it is said in our readings, well, in this reading, so we're going to call it the Anu reading because I would not be able to, I could, but I don't want to, reference every oracle that I use. So in one of the forms of the oracle, and I'll just tell you, this is the native one, but it aligns itself with also our Ifa. The thing I do is when I do these castings, all of the oracles are saying the same thing. That's how I know I'm in the groove. They may say it differently, and the different perspectives and aspects or symbols that they offer me to say the same thing is what I pull and I draw from in order to see a bigger picture. But they're all saying the same thing. So there's another oracle that speaks to enemies coming from the northeast, and that our friends are in this season in 2015 will come from the southwest. Enemies from the northeast, friends from the southwest. So what that basically means is that when you're dealing with the south, you're dealing with the energy of earth. When you're dealing with the west, you're dealing with the energy of water or the energy of death. Okay, so we're talking about death in the earth. Well, who has lived on the earth and died? Ancestors. Okay, so our friends now come from that southwest region in our Oreopon. We could look at it the same way because we could take it to the Yoruba. The southwest is where where we find the meeting of water and earth. And in that meeting of water, where the water hits the earth, is where we will gain guidance. Okay, there was a pataki that helps us out in this situation, and it talks about, long story short, where people were trying to do a ritual. They didn't know if this particular ritual they should pour the water first, if they should pour the wine first, and this is pouring it onto the earth, or if they should give obi abata first. So they said, ancestors, would you please come here and help us with this ritual? Because it was like, we don't know which one goes first, and we're going to end up messing it up. So what that's saying is that this is a time where you tap into that Egungun society and that ancestral energy for your guidance in this season. That is to keep you from meandering and floating away. That is how you will spiritually anchor in this time, by learning the systems, norms, and values of your Egun. Learning the system, norms, and values of your Egun, of your ancestors. That is where your gifts will come from in this time. Okay, the northeast represents the east. Again, when you look at it, northeast is all masculine. The north, which is air or heaven, represents masculinity. The east is fire, represents masculinity. South represents the earth, west represents the water. So when we say that the northeast is your enemy, it is your arrogance and your ambition and your desire that will be your ruin in 2015. It is your ability to go into egoless contemplation. This is the energy of Obatala. Okay, because Obatala is very strong in this particular reading as well. But it is your energy to go into the egoless contemplation that will bring you great value in this time. Okay? In that, we also have the vibration of Ochosi, the steady hunter that always pushes forward. Okay? Always hits his mark. All right? So, and if you look at it with Ochosi never really gets the glory. He tracks and finds the way. Ogun clears the path. You see, but nobody ever talks about Ochosi. They just say, oh, Ogun's clearing the road. Well, who gave him the guide? Or who said go that way, go this way? So there's that quiet behind the scene energy that will bring you so much power in this time. Understanding the value of the mare, that female horse. You want to study and look into that. The energies that will be strong again will be Oduduwa, the Egun, Obatala, okay, and even Ochosi as well. Those are the energies that you want to learn a bit about in this season. And I've done a show on all of those. So again, if you go to the archive, you can get the Ochosi, the Obatala, the ancestral show, but Oduduwa show, they're all there on enlightenment and transformation, or even Orisha religion. You should be able to find most of those as well, orishareligion.com. But again, like I said, the stress on this season is that we continue to do what we've been doing, but we refine it. We stay low to the ground. We don't climb high in a tree this year coming. No new projects, no new initiatives, okay? Now, again, if you're already midstream, or if some of you may have gotten some counsel from Ifa this year to start a family, to have children, it's okay. Okay, if you've already hit the bullseye, and you know it, because, we pretty much know when we hit the bullseye, then you want to give offerings to your Egun, to your ancestors, and you want to give offerings to Obatala all year, and at least make it a monthly event at the bare minimum, at least once a month. When you're working with the Egun, you want to usually do that on the new moon. Okay, so those are the vital energies for this coming year of 2015, and I want you to transmit those ideas to every area, whether it deals with family, whether it deals with wealth, whether it deals with your health. Whichever one it is, it's going to come to the same thing. No new initiatives. But mastering the energy of the strength that comes from endurance. You're going to find in this season too, another critical piece, Babalu Aye is going to come forth in the sense that you're going to be called to detoxify. So I urge you might as well just start working on it now yourself, because you heard it here. So either you could do it now on your own, or you could wait until your body goes through a natural detox. Sometimes that's at a time when it's not really as convenient. But what's critical in this season is to clean the body out, because you're cleaning out like you're preparing for pregnancy. That's men too. Okay, so men, I'm speaking to you as well. This is a season now where we focus on and we rejoice in our endurance, our ability to take hits, our ability even to absorb poison. I mean, in our society, for the most part, what we do is breathe in and drink and eat poison for the most part. We're wearing poison, most of us. Our clothes have all kind of pesticides on them, but our ability to survive that and to keep pushing through that is nothing short of amazing. So you want to really give honor and you really want to give strength to that energy of the mother, of Oduduwa, that has given you that power of resiliency, that has given you that ability to stand strong in the face of your enemies as well. Okay, very important. But you want to find yourself firmly planted in realism in this season. Okay, and we're getting ready to come into a rebirth. Not this year, but the reason why we have to fall back and stay a little slow in a sense is because we're getting ready to rebirth. That 2016 will be more of a reincarnating year. So for those of you who have a relationship with Ogun, this is a time when you really want to strengthen that relationship, because it's about strength this year. It's about strength, not about displays of power. So I want to be very clear on that. It's not about you being able to display your power, your wit, your ability. It's not about that this year. It's about strength. So for any of you who have Ileke Ogun, or what we call Ogun Elekes, you want to definitely clean those this year. You want to wear them. And if you don't have them and, you've been maybe thinking about getting Elekes, or you've been feeling like you should have Elekes, then you definitely want to look into receiving your Ogun Elekes, and maybe even having someone prepare an Ogun pot for you. Okay, so that is something that you want to do this year. Of course, because I know you're already going to ask, the emails are going to come. So before you send the email, yes, I can do Ogun pots for you, So if anybody wants the Ogun pot and Ogun Elekes, just reach out. That's not on the site or anything, because I just did the reading recently, so that's not something that I normally just offer. But for this year, I'll do them. If anybody wants them, just you could probably reach out and just send an email to the questions at Our New Nation, the customer email box. They'll get it over to me, and then maybe we'll put a link at some point on the site for it. But so it'll all be special, customized thing at this point. But even if it's not me, because it doesn't need to be me, you want to definitely get some Ogun work in this year, because again, this is your year of strength. And that's why we have the Ogun cauldron, because the cauldron represents the womb. Okay, so that's the Oduduwa aspect. Again, Ogun and Oduduwa have a very close relationship with each other. A lot of people don't realize that, but Ogun is, you wouldn't think so, because Ogun is so masculine. You wouldn't think he'd have such a close relationship with the womb, but he does. Okay, so it is our Egun, it is our Egun that will also help us to connect with the spirits of the mother, the wisdom of the mother. We really want to start tapping into Awoni Yami Osoronga, okay, which is she is the witch. When we talk about the Ajay, Awoni Yami Osoronga, it's like the queen of the Ajay, even though Oshun is their leader. Even the energy of Yewa Jobi, Yewa Jobi is she's like the maternal aspect of, like how Ogun is the force of everything. Like Ogun is your heartbeat. Ogun is your breathing. Ogun is what makes things move. It is Yewa Jobi that makes things live. Okay, you want to tap into Agba Lagba. These may be names you've not heard me use, because I don't always go into the Yoruba too much, because I know a lot of you may not understand it. So I try to keep it where some of you can understand, but sometimes I got to throw in some little stuff so you it's easier to explain that way. But Agba Lagba would be like in when I did the show on the crone. triple goddess. That energy would be Akbar would be like the crone energy. It's the old one where you're actually getting that maternal information from. So envision it almost like a witch version of Ifa, if you could kind of picture that for a moment. Okay. So again, it is not the man who is our friend in this season. It is the mother. Okay. Or not the father who is our friend. It is the mother who is our friend in this season. So we really want to master our ability, tools, and gifts of receptivity. And that really means sitting at the feet of our Egun this year. So don't be afraid to establish a more elaborate Egun Jingili. It's okay. Like if you want to say, you know what, I want to make something outside in my yard for my Egun, or I want to do a celebration. It's cool. Whatever you do this year for your Egun, you'll see an immediate response, because this will be their time. This will be their season. This 2015 Roman financial year. So let me be clear, those of you tuning in late, on what I'm reading on. Now, of course, in what I consider to be the real new year in spring, I'll be doing another reading. Okay, but this is how we're going to align ourselves to the Roman calendar. If this is the calendar that you use, if this is your rhythm, then this is the advisor for this particular year. And then we'll do another one after that in June. But again, so that has been our reading for 2015. I will that all of you have received what you're supposed to receive from it, and you've gotten some good direction and nutrition. And if anyone needs a more personal or customized reading, two things are going on. One, I know Felicia Assaan-ANU has been doing the life path readings for people. They've been really appreciating those, and she'll be doing those at 50% off. I think I'm not sure the dates. I know it's an end of the year type thing or something she's doing. Okay, so you can get your life path readings with her, and if you want a deeper ETA, and for those of you know what an ETA is, you can get your ETA with me, which is I'm not doing a 50% discount, so if you want the 50%, you can get that with her. But for those of you who need that, I will probably be doing maybe I might do a discount as an offering to the new year around what I consider to be New Year in spring for my particular deeper and longer ETAs. But so those options are there for you. And I hope to see you all tomorrow at Black and Nobel for the 14 African Principles workshop. I'm looking forward to it. I know it'll be one that's, I know it's going to be a good one, because Black and Nobel has such a good vibe already. And whenever I'm in spaces like that, I don't really have to do much. It's just, I just have to kind of I just got to show up really and just kind of channel the vibe right on through, because these are historic and legendary places that have always made efforts and strides to really serve our people, So with that has been our segment. I am Chief Yuya Assaan-ANU, giving adoration, praise, and worship to all of my Egun, those known and those unknown, to all of my unborn children who are also my Egun. I give you the highest honor, and I send to you this verbal libation. And I am now signing off Foundational Fridays on Enlightenment and Transformation. Make sure to check me out 11 a.m. Eastern on Chief Speaks right here on Enlightenment and Transformation on Block Talk Radio. We'll be broadcasting from here, and you can call in here, ask your questions, and do whatever it is that you need to do. So you want to call this network, but we'll also be broadcasting simultaneously on high frequency. All right. So I look forward to speaking to you all then. Until such time, be well.
Self-determination, collective vocation, community, building a nation, maintaining, victory. Teachers, leaders, traditional greatness, doing as much as we can, leaving to a community beautiful, beneficial, and heritage in 14 African principles. Is the goal, have control, and improve, hard to live, you're within, give wishes and begin. Work smarter, not harder, seek balance and challenge, with unity and harmony, the order will form ya, Kaumba, your jamba will help us, will prosper, the struggling will cease and you find your way. Strive, if I get lost, collective work inside, creative work and find, truth will keep us alive, unity is the high, a new nation will rise, a new nation will rise. Build, bring, lead by who you be. Order is vital and it's key. Peace is what we need. Feel free in all lanes. Brother, sister, live by one another. Let's all together developing treasure. You are non-measure, the kings of Greece are lesser. Take you to a place where infinity treasure. May you be a ship traveling along with lessons that was preserved in your African ancestor. Every string you got dwell in the multiversal matter. That's how the Dogon can serious matter. Tap into the penal and live beyond the scatter. 4-time principle equal 5, freedom ladder. Live in African via nature, propriety balance. Strive.